So as a data analyst, you're going to be using SQL pretty much all the time. So I'm going to go into kind of some real world examples of how you may use SQL on a day-to-day basis as a data analyst. Let's get into it. Well, a lot of the time as a data analyst, you're going to want to pull revenue by day. So this is kind of like a baseline metric. And I have a random data set here that I generated through ChatGPT. So we're going to kind of explore it, and we're going to use SQL to see what's in here. Might get some surprises. But so we have an orders, products, and users table, and we're basically going to want to see what is the total revenue by day. So query on how you would do that is basically all queries start with select here. You're going to select the order date. That's going to be as date. And then you're going to do the sum, which is just an aggregate function. And then you're going to grab the total amount as the daily revenue. I'm assuming you have some level of SQL knowledge. So we're going to grab this from orders. Thanks for the autocorrect. And we're going to group by the date. Group by the date, sorry. Ooh, no, did not want that. Group by the date. Hey, yo, can we chill out? And then we're going to order by, I don't like this either. By date. And then we're going to order by date descending. I forgot a comma. All right. So basically what we're doing is we're selecting the date and the daily revenue. So we're basically summing up every single amount for that day, which is the group by, and we're doing it in most current to latest. All right, syntax errors, but basically this is what we got. So we got per day, this is the revenue per day that we be bringing in. So this is going to be very good if you're working with some type of products in this type of thing. This is something that we run in my job, and it's very, very good to know those baseline metrics day by day. So this next one is going to kind of be identifying your top 10 customers. So it's basically who are your most valuable customers based on how much they are spending. So this is where we're actually going to level up and do some joining on different tables to get that customer's information along with their order amounts. So what we're going to do once again is we're going to want to select, and then from users, which if you don't know what an alias is just basically like a nickname for whatever you're going to be calling, and we're going to be calling it U just because for the users table essentially. So user ID, u.user ID first name, and then we're going to do u.last name because we want to know who they are, right? And then we want to see the sum of the order, so we're going to use O, total amount as total spend, right? And then we're going to do from orders O. So this is where I don't know if I need to specify this. So that we're going to label that as O, right? And it's giving me an error because there's no U yet, which we'll get to the U when we get to the join. We're pulling that from orders. And then from there, we want to join users. So we want to join users, and then you have to join on a key, which the key is going to be the user ID, right? So u.user ID. o.user_id is equal to u.user_id. All right. So I'm going to type it out, and then I'm going to explain it a little bit better. I can't do two things at once, clearly. But it is what it is. All right, so we got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm just going to walk you through what's going on. So we want to select these fields. So user ID, first name, last name, and the total. So the sum of all they bought, which is going to be their total spend. We want to get that from the orders table, and we're going to join on the users table based on this key, this primary key of user ID. And then what we want to do is we want to group them together by user ID, first name, last name, and then total spend descending, meaning greatest to least. And then we're going to limit it to only 10 rows, which should give us our top 10 customers based on spend, if I can remember to do that right. So what we got here is we got, man, big spenders. Crazy thing is I don't even know what products I'm actually selling in this data set. So we got Michael Davis is sending, obviously this is all fictitious data, but Michael Davis spending $4,000, and then we have all of these different people. So these are our top spenders. So if there were some type of company where we're selling some type of products, these are the people that, for example, we might want to give some type of promotional something to, or whatever it may be. So it's very important to be able to find out your most valuable customers. It's great for things like CRM, retaining these customers, and marketing. This is something that we do in my role for very special occasions and things like that. We identify the most valuable customers based on spend and other metrics, but this is a very simple version of it. Let's get to the next one. All right, so the next thing you might want to do as far as some type of data set is you want to see how frequent a customer is, how often they're actually placing orders and ordering stuff from your company. So we're going to basically do a frequency tracking type of query. So this one's pretty easy. You're just going to grab the user ID and you're going to count their, basically you're going to count their orders. I guess that was fine. So we want to count their orders from the order table. I don't know if it's going to let me do that, or I got to specifically state what it is. We're going to group by user ID and order by, once again, user ID. No, num orders. Sorry. Descending once again. So this is going to basically select the user ID that has the most amount of orders from our orders table. Let me make sure to do this. And then we're going to group it by the user and then order it based on the highest to lowest. Words are hard. All right. So basically customer 37, ID 37, number of orders 16. And then obviously you can go like deeper into this data if you needed to and see like which days they're ordering how much. But you can see all of these different customer IDs or user IDs and how often they are ordering. So those are going to be some of the queries that we use specifically to kind of go through and get some data on which products are selling the best, which customers are buying the most, and those types of things, some basic metrics, basic KPIs. If you want me to go through more things like this, or you want to see specific things of how to pull them, let me know in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video. Love, peace, and chicken grease.